we carry on with your fix of entertainment on this particular Queen's Wednesday. I go by the name of Barry Moses, or it's Barry Moore on every social media platform. And as you all know, the Youth Day is coming, 12th August, this Sunday. And in the spirit of celebrating the Youth Day, I have amazing guests in studio with me. But before I introduce them, 22163 is the SMS line. Start with YM254. Never ever forget to leave your name and where you're watching us from, because that's the only way we can give you a shout out. Preferably, you can hit us up on Twitter, that is at Y254 channel, Facebook Y254, and Instagram Y254 TV. But 22163 is the most preferred. So in studio with me, I have Emily Maina from the Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender, and she is the regional coordinator, which is the Nairobi region, and she's joined by Shina Mbao, who's also the youth country coordinator for Center of Study of Adolescents, and the chairperson of G Activate. Karibuni sana.
Okay.
All right. So the Youth Day is coming. The youth have always been a topic of conversation every election, especially, and every day. And we have always been told the youth are the future, and it's always coming tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. We are sick and tired of waiting, and I hope this time round it's going to be better, this particular Youth Day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry for bombarding you so much, but you can introduce yourselves. Your camera is number 4. Just give us a brief bio of yourself first, starting with you, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. My name is Emily Maina. I'm the regional coordinator of youth in Nairobi from the Ministry of Public Service, Youth and Gender Affairs. I have been working with the youth for all my years because I did teaching. I taught for 16 years, and I was there in the Ministry of Youth when it was beginning. Moved on to the State Department of TVET, where the skills to the youth are dispensed from, and now I'm back to the ministry. So I'm glad to be here.
All right, welcome, Karibu Sana. It's a pleasure to have you on set with us.
So my name is Shinan, Shinan Mbao. I'm a young person. I'm a youth living in Kenya. I'm the youth country coordinator for Center for the Study of Adolescents, and I'm also the chairperson of G Activate movement. That's a social movement for young people. And yes, I'm happy to be here to discuss the International Youth Day and to tackle matters youth and the direction we want to take.
All right, yes, it's amazing to see queens assume positions of power, such as chairperson of G Activate. So before I can talk to you from the ministry, I'd like to know, when was G Activate founded first?
So G Activate was founded around May 2017, just before we had our elections, and it was just a thought to give a wake-up call to young people that us guys are the majority. We need to stand up, we need to stand together and make a difference. So around May 2017, different youth-led organizations came together and they formed a movement for young people to activate themselves and stay woke. Thus G Activate.
Stay woke sounds like a good a good catchphrase for
yes.
All right, so was it like triggered by the elections, the temperature that was around surrounding the elections? Was that what triggered the founding of G Activate?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that triggered that, but there were a lot of issues that were affecting young people, and we felt like the leaders we choose have a lot to do with it. And we felt sometimes like us young people are very passive. We vote for who gives us money, we vote for who our parents are voting for. Like we don't have a stand. Yes, we don't have a stand. We are easily swayed. So we decided, why don't we become active? You know, let's find out about our leader. Let's ask them, what are you gonna do for us? Let's hold them accountable. And we thought, let's start activating other young people so that when all of us who are the bigger majority come together and speak in one voice, we can be able to make a change to the things that affect us.
All right.
Yeah.
And you even chose a language or lingo that resonates with the youth, which is amazing.
Yes.
I like the name. I like the color coordination. I love the amazing work, the digital content that you guys put up online.
Thank
it's
you.
amazing.
Thank
We'll be
you.
talking about that in a few. How does the Ministry of Gender, Youth and Gender,
Public service, youth and gender affairs.
How does it come in to help deactivate? Organizations such as deactivate.
The ministry is dealing with youth matters. And in the conduct of business of the ministry, it welcomes partners from every quarter who could be able to give information that relates to youth. Therefore, having an organization like Deactivate is a way of creating synergy, because they are doing researches, they are interacting with young people, they are young people themselves.
They know what's happening in the ground.
Yes. So it's a good way of interacting with them that will help us actualize our objectives. Yes.
So you work with other organizations as well, such as Deactivate?
Yes, we work with different kind of organizations, not just the ones that are dealing with media. There are other organizations that are dealing with any activities that is related to the youth. For example, at the moment we are talking about the Big Four. And even a concept like that one, we need any organization that deals with that specific area to ensure that it integrates with youth matters.
All right. And there are provisions in the Constitution where opportunities should be provided by the law and our governance system to include young people in decision making.
Yes.
Is this actually being achieved or being practiced in real sense?
Yes, it is. Because even when we have any positions that are coming up, even in the school boards, in an area where the youth are required, you find that one is taken into consideration. It's only in Parliament where it has not been achieved.
Why do you say it has not been achieved in Parliament?
You see, like the 2-thirds gender rule, that one has not been done even at the moment. Yes.
But that is a very complicated topic if we start to talk about
it. It is. Yes.
But let's focus on the theme of the year. The Youth Day is coming, 12th August.
Yes.
As the youth say, it's lit on 12th August. The theme is safe spaces for the youth.
Yes.
This is the international theme. When we talk safe spaces, what does it mean to you? Safe spaces for the youth.
Safe spaces can be taken literally, because we want the youth to have their space. And that space should be safe. And the way it can be conceptualized, there is the digital space, that if the youth want to express themselves, they should be free to air what they feel is good for them, and any challenge that they have, so that the government or any interested person can be able to have this information. There is also the element of recreation. If they want to do some leisure activities, the sporting, the dancing, those kind of things, the space should be provided. If it is the issue of governance, they should be given leadership positions. Yes.
So governance goes hand in hand with these safe spaces for the youth, because you can't have safe spaces if there cannot be good stadiums for the youth to play in, if they're not good hospitals, if the youth cannot get like insurance for health, and the rest of them.
Yes.
So it goes hand in hand with governance.
Yes, and even governance is about leadership related. But if you also look at the youth with the special needs, if they need to access somewhere, they need that space. If they want to access buildings, roads, that is still part of the spacing. Yes. So the word safe space is in a larger context, that you have to look at different aspects that the youth may feel it's okay with them. I'll give an example. If we have a youth who is coming from another country, this or maybe from another community, this youth should be respected for who he is. They should not be discriminated. So when you are looking at the element of safe space, you should be able to look at it from a wider spectrum. But all in all, the youth should be respected and should be able to achieve through the help of the leaders and the people in the community.
All right, a very good perspective. I'd like to get yours. What does it mean to you when you hear safe spaces for the youth?
I think I interpret safe spaces for the youth to in a broader perspective, in that safe spaces for young people to be able to express themselves to policymakers on what they actually need. Safe spaces for young people to be able to express politically, like I don't like this person, I'm not going to vote for them. Safe spaces for young people to be able to receive health service. I can go to that clinic and ask for a service at whatever age I am, and no one will look at me like, what are you doing? Safe spaces for young people to be able to do business, to be able to use their creativity and innovative minds to make a difference. Safe spaces free of corruption, that young people will get jobs on merit and jobs because they have worked hard. They will be able to access services. So I think safe spaces for me is what is standing in the way of the success of young people, in terms of unemployment, in terms of healthcare, in terms of food security,
I like the way you're so passionate about it. And I like your different perspectives, where yours is like more physical and literal, and yours is about the expression, the freedom of expression, and empowerment of the youth. When we match that together, we get something magical. Right? How do you define a youth, since you're within that court? How do you guys define a youth within the ministry right there? Who's a youth?
A youth is a person who is between the ages of 18 to 35.
18 to 35?
Yes.
All right. So, hao wanasiasa wamekuwa kitudanganya. The ones who are above 35.
Yes. But generally, I remember when the ministry started, it was actually saying that you can feel as young as, you can be as young as you feel.
All right. You can be as young as you feel.
I always struggle with that phrase. And we have people holding on to spaces they should have left a long time ago because they are youthful at heart. And what happens to that person who's youthful at age? Like, it's my chance now, it's my opportunity now, just place me there and see what I can do, so that we don't have the same thing over and over again. And we have some young leaders who have proven to be their youth, their young people, and they have track records. They have track records. So yes, and it's very important for adults to work with us young people, and for the youth-adult relationship to work. But it is also very important for the adults to accept that, yes, I was a youth, I'm not a youth anymore, it is okay. I can let youth be youth, and I can let them take these opportunities and spaces and just create a change that will work for that space that time.
All right. Am I right to say G-Activate is artist-led? Like most what can I call them? Most things that you're pushing for. I see you get artists to come on board at their performances. There are painters within. Am I right to say G-Activate is mostly artist-led in the way that you preach your message?
I think G-Activate brings on board organizations that have different strengths and that represent the different unique unique characteristics of young people in the country. We have organizations that do art, and we know many young people who can relate to art, graffiti, drawing, music. We have organizations that do politics. They work with the young parliamentarian associations. We have organizations that do health, and they do health for young people. We have organizations that do county bunges, like just voices for young people. But the underlying thing is that we do things that we relate to.
Right.
So if we are going to talk to the governor, for example, today, we will use a way that is comfortable to us. Maybe we will make a graffiti drawing, we will use a popular artist, and we will put in there people who know how to put in the message. But it's just using means that young people relate to, so that we feel like it's us and it is our space, and we are doing real things or important things in a way that is best suited for us.
All right. I've seen you work with some popular artists from time to time. Do you get to pay them some time, or they volunteering?
It is interesting to see also how our artists are interested in making social change, and most of those who we reach out to are interested to work with us because they want to also see the change that we are looking for, and they are young. So mostly it's partnership, and partnership in a more, I wouldn't say materialistic or money minded way, in a more common goal, and a more, this is the change both of us or all of us want to see.
Amazing. We can't talk about the youth without talking about the health of the youth, and narrow down to maybe sexual health, because the youth are very sexually active.
Yes.
And it's a fact that a lot of things are happening.
Yeah.
So pregnancies, we know about pregnancies, we know about sexually transmitted diseases. Are you working hand in hand with the Ministry of Health? And we also know that very few youth are insured when it comes to health insurance, because maybe it's expensive, or maybe they don't have the knowledge. What are some of the things you're doing to curb this trend?
Between the month of May and mid of this month, we have been having what is called Rapid Resort Initiative. And this is a way of trying to get very close to the youth and explaining to them about the Big Four. One of the Big Four is affordable health. So what we are doing is we are working with NHIF and preaching the gospel of telling the youth that they need to join the government insurance, and they will be paying 500 shillings per month, and this will cater for them, and those who are married, their children and their wives will be taken care of. Whenever
this 500?
Yes. The 500 shillings. Once you get the insurance, is a government insurance, you pay 500. It will cover you as a youth if you have a wife and have a child. So this is the message that we have been talking to them. And it has not been easy. We have done a lot of sensitization, but there are not as many that have been able to sign up. So we are coming up with different strategies. We are telling them that they need to come up with different strategies which they can employ to ensure that they are able to pay.
What are some of the reasons you blame for not so many of them signing up?
Because most of them are not employed. They are not employed.
So the problem is deeper.
Yeah, they feel that they don't have the money. Of course, young people, sometimes they feel they might not get sick.
Which is rare, because most of us really want that insurance.
Yes.
But I don't think somebody somewhere can say and say I won't fall sick. Maybe it's that. Maybe you've done your research, but most of them really want these health insurances covers.
And then the element that you have to pay every month, they feel like maybe they may not be able to pay. But we are trying to explain to them that even as a youth group, if they were in a group and they just raised some small money, maybe there can be a way we can arrange with NHIF. They pay as little as they can afford, so that by the end of the month they are able to have filled up the 500.
Yes, and when you break down 500 into 30 days, it becomes like a manageable amount.
Yes,
that's a very good plan.
Then of course, like in the Nairobi region, we are very happy because the members of parliament are able to pay for a few, so they have taken up that campaign. So it's giving it a head start.
All right, I'd like to deviate a little bit. What do you get from this when I pay 500 as for my health insurance? What type of services can I access?
You can access most of the services. Only that maybe if you are confined in the hospital, the bill may go much higher, but most of it is taken care of.
Most of the bill is taken care of. You look like you have something to say.
Yeah, we did a survey in 39 counties, SG Activate, and healthcare was coming out as one of the issues that young people were complaining about. Young people can't access healthcare because of some of the barriers we've talked about, like NHIF being expensive and things like that. Hospitals being very far in some counties, you know. Staff being not very friendly when young people want, for example, sexual reproductive health services, and young people coming in to seek service and being turned away because they are too young or things like that. And we have started advocacy campaigns around that. I mean, the government has started Linda Mama, which is a very good program to pay for maternity fees and such. And we and they started the NHIF for secondary school students. And we were saying, what if the government had a thing where they waive fees for your medical they waive medical fees for young people to a certain age, let's say to 26. By the time you're 26, you learned how to hustle, you know how you can get your way around, and now you can start paying your NHIF, so that now you're covered from when you leave your parents' care to around 26 years. And I think that would be nice.
Even under your parents' care.
Yeah, no, I mean
till 26.
Because now they have they have the one in high school. So the one in high school, I think, goes up to when you're in Form 4. And then when you're out of Form 4, now you need to start paying your own, or you need to start using your parents.
But if we have the one in high school, it's work in progress at least.
Yes, it's work in progress, and we were just taking the advocacy campaign a notch higher. You know, let's have some subsidized program for young people so that they can access health. These young people have the highest burden of HIV. Over 51% of the new HIV infections were between ages of 15 to 24. Young people aged 15 to 24. Yes. 51% of the new infections in 2016. And the infections won't go down if I don't access healthcare.
If you don't
NCDs,
access knowledge,
yes,
and everything.
Non-communicable diseases, we are having more cancers among young people. We are having lifestyle diseases around obesity, even mental issues like suicide, because no one goes to hospital until they have to go to hospital. Like they have fainted or fallen down, or it's extremes.
Checkup is not a vocabulary around here.
I know.
Regular medical checkup.
Yeah, it's not.
So these are some things you're working on, and trying to educate the youth to just love themselves and be aware of themselves.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe I could interject. In a week like this, there is now the discussion. This is part of the issues that the youth should come up with, because we have the big four slotted on different days. And when we have young people discussing this kind of issue throughout the country, this will be picked up by the policymakers. And of course, what she's saying is very important. If the national budget was able to cater for that, it's a very good idea.
All right. Before we talk about the involvement of the youth in decision making, we can't forget drugs and alcohol. Yeah, it's a major problem. Not saying that the old people don't don't indulge as well, but it's a problem among the youth. It's not a safe space to be on drugs, or to be addicted to drugs, or to be dependent on drugs. So what are some of the things you're doing around drugs and alcohol as well?
I think the same around advocacy. We have very few government rehabilitation centers, and they're still very expensive and inaccessible to young people. But maybe in some counties like Mombasa, where the drug prevalence is high, we have a lot of government and non-governmental action trying to work to that, so there are a few. But for example, in Nairobi, even off your mind, you just get Mathari, and no other comes to your mind here. So I think it's important. I like the campaigns that that are coming up, like the Utadu campaign around alcohol and substance abuse, and I think we are joining in those campaigns and giving information down at the grassroots when we sit with young people. And there are some counties during our survey that drug and substance abuse was the main issue, and we were starting to look
Can you name
around
some of these counties, or you don't want to spotlight them like that?
Yeah, maybe I don't want to say which counties, apart from the ones we usually know, like Mombasa. But we were trying to see, why is it a problem? Are people idle? Is it cheap? And how can we work around it together with our policymakers? And we had some very progressive discussions, which I think we will follow up in the next phase.
So research is a very major pillar at G-Activate, yeah?
Yes, and we do social research because it's very important. It's very hard to address a problem from a point of probability or guessing, assumptions. Yes, so it's important we go down, we talk to people, we do surveys, and then we start tackling an issue from a point of this is what we know to what we want to do. And the aspect that has worked best most is bringing together young people in a certain county and the county leadership. Like we bring the CEC youth, we bring the Ministry of Youth, and we bring young people in that county, and we bring MCAs. You know, these are our issues. Let's discuss.
Right.
As guys don't want to be part of the problem, let's discuss and find a solution.
Amazing. Since you do your research, are you willing to help me with something that I want to direct to her? What is the estimate population of street kids in Nairobi right now? Estimation.
I don't know. I wouldn't know the estimation
But
of
they are
street
in
kids,
thousands,
but they are in large numbers.
Large numbers.
Yes,
And
even
across
from
the country.
physical research.
Physical, you meet them everywhere.
Yes.
Yes, and they are part of this youth category.
Yes.
And some of them have nowhere to go to. Some of them have no options at all. And I think as a taxpayer, it's the role of the government to take care of such people.
Yes, right now, one of the salons called Beauty Point, it is on Kimathi, it's on Tomboya Street, is engaging the street children. Is it the mothers? They're engaging them and explain to them the issue of skills, because the reason why some of these youth are desperate is they have nowhere to turn to. But right now, the initiative that is there this morning, it is a way of making them know that they can be able to acquire skills regardless of your status at the moment. So I can tell you right now, there is a group that is engaging them from the Department of Devolution, and that Beauty Point, they are discussing how they can be able to change their lives.
So as a person who's sane, who has a home, who is able to watch this, it's our role to go educate them, tell them this happened, you can go access this and this, and that the government provides this.
Yes.
All right.
The devolution and even the county government, they are all working together to ensure that the street youth are taken care of. I also know there is a group of youth who are working with us. Tomorrow we will be able to meet some of those street children and maybe give them some little food and some clothing.
So today, if I met a street kid on the streets, I can for a fact tell them there's an alternative for them and direct them to where they can get that alternative.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I didn't know about that. Thank you for the education. Youth Day is coming. It's lit. What are some of the plans for the Youth Day as G-Activate?
I think International Youth Week, this whole week, International Youth Week, and we'll be having events across the country. But we are working hand in hand with the ministry, and we just had our Makueni dialogue yesterday. You guys saw what was trending, and it was hashtag safe space in Makueni, and we just had a dialogue with the deputy president, trying to see which issues are there and how we want to solve them as youth. We launched the National Youth Council strategic plan for 2018-2022, and the activities go on this week. We'll be having the main event at Kisii on Sunday, which will be graced by the president. We'll be having an event at KICC for Nairobi County around the Youth Week. We'll be having a walk on Sunday with one of our partners, Siasa Place. We'll be having a youth speak space.
There's a lot going on.
Yes, there's a lot going on in the week.
Can they check you online for all these schedules?
I think you can follow us at G-Activate, at G-Activate on Twitter. You can follow us at G-Activate on Facebook. You can check out Center for the Study of Adolescence on Twitter. And my personal handle is at Shinanbao1.
At
Shinanbao1.
Shinanbao1. Alright, so G-Activate, check G-Activate on, just Google G-Activate, you'll be directed to the right place. Do you have an online presence as well?
We are working together with them, but generally we have youth officers in every sub-county. We have 17 sub-counties in Nairobi, and all the activities that are supposed to happen in the week are known to the social groups, because they have the youth leaders, and working together they will also be able to reach out. But besides now having the national activity that was in Makueni, we have the 9 regions in the whole of Kenya. Activities are going on. When the national activity was taking place in Makueni, in every region there was the mass tree planting on Monday. And for the Nairobi region, we did it in Kabete National Polytechnic. Then there are consequent activities that are taking place, like today. Today we are in Botera. We are training some youth on how to be responsible, issues to do with the entrepreneurship, the element of being peaceful, and we are working together with the Kenya National Commission of UNESCO. It is what is taking place right now. Then there will be other activities, like tomorrow I have mentioned there will be an activity in Kibera, cultural activities. On Friday there will be beauty contest somewhere in Roysambu. On Saturday we are discussing on communicable diseases. We have invited a big number of youth that is in Karioko. Then there will be Calvary grounds on Saturday again, where we have beauty contest. There will be football in many different parts of Nairobi. So
all
they are
coordinated from this organization right here.
Yes, we are working together. We have a committee. We are working together. They are dealing with the communication bit. Then
That's
we have different partners. And you see, when the national event will be in Kisii, we have another one in KICC. And the Ministry of Interior is working together with us. And everywhere we are going with the DCCs or their representatives.
All right. So the government has really invested in this.
Yes.
We can go on and on. I still have a lot to talk about, but my director tells me you have run out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing what you guys are doing for the youth out there. Really appreciate you. And I'm looking forward to more work from Jactivate. I follow your Facebook page religiously. I like what you guys are doing. And thank you. My main focus is the street kids. I'll see you sidebar so we can see what we can do about that. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, this was another segment of Queen's Wednesday, and we had